Welcome to the Short Rod Show. You're talking with Ben
and Brett.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys, on a special podcast today. We're actually on our way to the St. Paul Ice Fishing Show.
Yeah, we're on location in the Tahoe.
Doing a little mobile recording, so hopefully I can tweak the sound and get rid of some of the road noise. But yeah, we wanted to do a podcast about what we're excited about for the show, and then also recap the show afterwards and see how it all went.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Pretty pumped up to see what we can see at the show.
Yeah, and if you've never been to the show, you owe it to yourself at least once to go check it out, see what it's all about. Really, it is the largest industry show that we have in the ice fishing community.
Yep. And it's not really, yeah, things are for sale, but it's not really just like a sales pitch. I guess to me, I like to go see the new things that are out there, and then that gives me an idea of, okay, what ideas did I like, and what can I take home to either try to make myself, fabricate, look up, or if I can find a cheaper option of something that I really enjoyed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. But, I mean, really, when you talk about the who's who of ice fishing, they're at the show. Yep. So if you just want to go up there...
if you're a fanboy, you'll come across
absolutely.
People.
Yep, you'll see
we're fanboys.
Ice fishing celebrities.
Yep.
So yeah, we're really excited to go up, and this will be our second show that we have attended. We missed out last year because of a friend's wedding, so we're excited to get back into it and go check the show out. Make sure that we can get up to date on all the industry trends and report back on how it goes. So maybe next year you can take the family up or head up by yourself with some buddies and go check it out. So that's coming up next
on the Short Rod Show.
Hey there, guys. If you've been over to our website lately over at shortrodshow.com and like what you see, you should get in touch with our partners over at Evergrow Marketing. They're a digital marketing agency that works primarily with landscape and lawn care businesses, but they also work with guys like us. They can help your business show up on Google and also get you a lot more customers through their unique digital marketing methods. Reach out to them over at evergrowmarketing.com and make sure you mention that Ben and Brett sent you from the Short Rod Show podcast to get an additional 10% off your first bill.
Ben and I would really like to thank our listeners. Since we've aired this podcast, we've gotten an unbelievable fan response. We just want to remind you guys where you can reach us at shortrodshow.com. You can feel free to email us or follow our newsletter. You can also find us on any of your podcasting platforms, Apple Podcast, Podbean, Stitcher, and Spotify. Also follow us on Facebook, The Short Rod Show, and anytime you see those 5 little stars, please hit number 5.
Hey, welcome back to the show, guys. Ben and I are on our way up to Minnesota. We just crossed, the Albert Lee Lake?
Albert Lee Lake, our favorite lake to check ice conditions on heading north.
Yeah, that's just because it's easy.
Little skim ice on there is all.
I still don't know what the story of that lake is. Do you know what's going on with that?
I don't know.
There's like a fish kill or there's something weird going on there?
You always see people water skiing around, summer sports, that kind of thing. No one fishing.
Yeah. I feel like there's something going on. We just aren't aware.
There's gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, we're on our way up to the St. Paul Ice Show, and we're just kind of chatting about things we're excited to go check out. So yeah, where do you want to go first, Ben?
It's gonna be a really cool show this year. We haven't been for a couple years either, so we skipped last year due to a friend's wedding. So
yep.
Really excited this year. Of course, getting on the clam bucket deal. That's our plan right away.
So that's the first drop. Is
gotta have a blue 5-gallon bucket in our hands for the rest of the show.
Yep. So that way we keep all our crap in there.
Yep. Talk about grabbing some stuff at the clam booth, and then also we saw a pretty cool bait at the Hank show, actually, from Acme. They have the world's first tungsten rattle chamber jig. Yep. So we want to go check that out at the Acme booth. See who else is hanging out.
I'm not sure what I think about that yet. I mean, I'm a big fan of rattles. But it'll be interesting just to try it out. Part of me still thinks it's kind of like that, the craze of the custom jig painting.
Yes.
Where it's kind of a deal that catches the fisherman more than the fish.
Yep.
But it's definitely something unique, and I think it's definitely gonna be something worth check out. At least pick up 1 or 2 jigs. Yep. Test it out.
Oh, I want to see too if they have like a aquarium set up, kind of a test chamber. See what it looks like in the water. But the one I saw was pretty good size. I mean, you're talking, we're used to like a 3 to 5 millimeter tungsten.
Yeah.
This one's like a 9 or a 10 millimeter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, jeez.
So I mean, you're going after big.
So
fish.
these are walleye type lures.
Yeah,
this
or
isn't
big crappie.
This isn't a bluegill type jig.
I don't know. Bluegill might go
I
after.
mean, I hope they have like a 5 mil size, because that's kind of the size I'd be more interested in.
Yeah, and different colors, and just interested to see what that looks like for sure.
I mean, I think I've always had good luck with gold jig size or jig color wise, so I think gold would probably be something I'd gravitate more towards.
Yep.
And then maybe like a blue, maybe chartreuse, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then making the rounds too. Want to check out the guys at the Ice Force booth. See what they got going on with Strike Master and all the big brands. And Rapala and
I'll be
Markham.
interested to try on, if I can, the new Strike Master float suit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of compare, see what's different and what they look like.
Are you thinking about dropping the money on one?
No, probably not this year. No, maybe next year on an actual suit. But I don't know. I'm just perfectly happy with what I got, and I'm not really the kind of person that, if I have something that works and I'm comfortable in, I'm not someone that says, oh, I just need to go get the newest thing.
It takes a lot to get you to switch up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether I have the best gear or not, as long as I'm happy with it, that's all I'm really worried about.
Yeah, where do you want to go? What are you hyped up about?
Well, I want to make sure we get over and at least enter the raffle in for that Helix 7 over at Hummingbird.
That'd be sweet. That'd really step our game up.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be jazzed about that.
So it's a Helix 7, the newest version, right?
Yeah, Gen 3, all weather, the whole setup, ready to roll. I mean, there's going to be thousands of people that enter for that thing, but...
Oh, yeah. It's worth, what, $700?
Yeah, something like that. Yep. Still worth getting your name in there. Otherwise, I'm just kind of pumped to go out and see what some of the new sleds look like, go sit in some sleds, see what we can see. Just check out the people. And really what I enjoy is walking through that main arena where you just got all these little companies in there.
Yes.
And just seeing what all the little gadgets and gizmos that they make.
There's so many cool things like that we saw 2 years ago.
Yep.
That you think it's like, yeah, I'll drop $20 on that.
Yeah.
Or, $10 here.
$5.
Whatever, try it out. And some of them work really good. They seem like they work really good at the show, and then you get them home and you're like, eh.
Yeah, this is kind of cheesy.
Yeah, too chintzy or whatever.
I mean, it's amazing what people put together with PVC pipe and they try to sell. I mean, that's pretty much all those tip downs are made up of.
Yep. Yep. Well, we talked too a little bit about seeing the new kind of tip up setups with like the jaw jackers and the other knockoff versions of that, but we don't run those normally.
No, I haven't ran any of that.
I'd like to try that this year.
Putting on it, especially a jaw jacker. I think I like those. It's interesting. We were talking about this before we started recording. The different thought process between like a jaw jacker setup or what are those, the automatic fisherman's?
Yep.
Versus like your iFish Pro or your whatever it is to let the bait run.
Yep. Give them some slack and have zero restriction on it.
I mean, the difference between those two, obviously they have different applications, but the concepts, where one is you set the hook right away, where the other one is you want to let them run and make sure they get that bait all the way in their mouth.
Yep.
I think which one's which? Which one do you want?
I think that's species specific. It has to be something with that, and I'm not really sure which would be which, but like having a crappie bite versus a walleye bite versus a pike bite is
I feel like that jaw jacker would kind of rip that bait right out of the crappie's mouth.
And that's the thing. There's so many variables to it. It depends on the action of your rod. Then, if you have a real stout carbon rod that just freaking rips,
that'd rip it right out.
Yep. Versus more of a glass rod that can, expand a little bit slower.
Or a noodle rod sort of
noodle
deal.
Rod. Yep. Radioactive pickle.
Yeah.
Slap one of those
that.
on there.
Yeah.
I wonder how they work with a schoolie. We should try that.
I don't know.
You get about 1 inch of deflection on a schoolie, and that's all you need.
Oh yeah, it would hang on. They'd be the hook would be set hard.
Yep. Yeah, those are cool to see, and then also too for me, just seeing interacting with all the industry people. Yeah, this is like the who's who, the what's what of ice fishing every year. Whether people are really excited about going or not, this is like the best thing that we have.
Oh yeah,
as an industry. So it's really cool to go and just talk fishing with people and see who's out roaming around.
Ben, who's your number one, what I'd say, ice fishing personality, celebrity? Who's somebody that when you when you hear their name, you're reading what they're putting out.
Oh, definitely. As far as content goes, Joel Nelson's blog, anything he puts out is gold.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's sponsored by St. Croix and Otter and who else? The Yeti Fish House guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's got basically a PhD in fish behavior.
Oh yeah.
Whatever he's putting out is really accurate, and he's a real champion of the sport too. And that's pretty cool. So if Joel's there, I'd love to talk to him and pick his brain a little bit, especially try and get some feedback on what is happening in Iowa too. He's of course big Minnesota conservation kind of guy, but just interested. Maybe he wants to fish Okoboji. He's all about big bluegills. So
yeah, he does love painfish.
Yep.
I think for me, a guy that's kind of flies under the radar a little bit, Brad Hawthorne.
Oh yeah,
that dude. Yeah, he still has to brand all the products and stuff that he's sponsored by, but
not as much though.
He'll say what he's using, but then he'll say why he says exactly what the action is that he's looking for out of that bait, and then you can kind of interpret that and try to mimic what he's looking for.
Yeah, and what's cool about him, I mean, Joel is more of an industry guy, and he gets out and fishes.
Brad's out there.
Brad's a guide. Brad is out there pounding holes for clients.
He has year-round sunglass tan line.
Oh yeah,
sunglasses tan line.
It's impressive.
He is wind blown 24/7.
Yep. Old, just grizzly.
Yeah, that dude.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
impressive.
and he I don't know. He just does a good job of getting right to the point, explaining exactly what he wants, what he's looking for, and what he's doing. And those are the exact tidbits that I'm looking for to pick up.
And it'll be interesting this year, just as the ice conditions have been, kind of variable around the region, where normally shows that happen when all the lakes are fishable, are a little bit smaller in size, so there's not as big a crowds going on. And this year, I don't know. It's a toss up.
Yeah.
Ice is still kind of variable up here. It looks like. Of course, we haven't been up here yet. We're just seeing a bunch of snow on the ground in Minnesota, but hopefully there's a decent turnout. But of course, we don't want to be fighting.
Hopefully there's no turnout.
People.
I hope it's zero turnout. We just have the run of the place, but I doubt that.
I kind of doubt that too.
Yeah, that's why if we do the VIP, it's just, to me, it's worth it because you can move. You can actually get out there and go talk to people because I'd say there's a third of the people there. And then after 10 o'clock, the doors are open and it's a zoo.
The floodgates open. And, maybe next year we'll get some media passes.
Ooh, yeah.
We're talking about trying to do a little research on that. I'm not sure if we qualify quite yet, but we're getting there.
Man, that would be sweet. I don't know exactly what kind of benefits that affords you, but I think that'd be awesome.
Yep. If anyone's listening.
Surely it gets you in sooner. You don't have to mess with all the crowds, I would think.
So. Maybe, next year we could probably make a whole weekend trip out of it.
Well, so there was a guy that I used to work with, really into NFL. In Iowa, we don't have an NFL team, so I don't know. I don't really know anybody that's really into the NFL, big time.
Yeah, sure.
Well, him and his brother started a media company solely so that they could get into the NFL Combine. This dude he's hardcore NFL.
Wow.
And so, maybe I feel like that's kind of what we're doing to get into the ice fishing show.
This is not a fake podcast, people. It's actually real. But
yeah.
That's interesting.
Then we can get in for free.
It's all a big ploy. No, that's cool. So, this year we're just really jazzed to go up, especially after missing it last year and get back in. And
it's not something you have to go to every year. Because, it's not like there's that big of innovations every single year. But if you haven't ever been to it, it's definitely a sight to see.
Yep.
Something to come check out.
It depends on your mentality too. Like for me, I just want to go just to go anyway.
Yep.
And just talk ice fishing with people. So that's part of why we're doing this podcast, just to scratch the itch a little bit. And this is just another way to do that. So.
And testing our mobile setup.
Yeah, hopefully,
in the car.
Hopefully I can filter out some of the road noise coming up here. But just want to do something a little different on location, basically, heading up to the show. And we'll have a segment after this on our feedback after the show on our way home.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty cool. So, awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for listening in. The next segment, we'll talk about how everything went and see how it compared to what we thought it would look like.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
Pretty cool. Hey guys, we're back now and just recapping what happened at the show. So we're just south of Clear Lake, heading back home. Man, what a show it was.
Yeah. So all that update that we did prior on our way up, we did very little of that, actually.
Man, a lot different. A lot different than what we said we were going to do. But that's okay. We're all about being flexible here, and things change. So we rolled into the River Center about, what, 8:30?
8:30, and just as we walked in, we saw some guys walking out with those clam buckets that we'd mentioned, and they're like, yeah, too late for that.
Yeah, they were sold out in 5 minutes, they said. Not sold out, but just handed out.
Which I expected that.
Yeah, so we missed out on the bucket deal. We'll have to just go buy some buckets.
Yeah, that's too bad. We never did make it over to the Hummingbird booth either to get signed up for that. Helix 7.
Yep, so no Helix 7 in our future.
No.
At least not through the raffle.
Yeah, maybe through our own hard-earned money.
Exactly.
But we did do some other awesome stuff.
Yes.
We definitely got sidetracked. It's not like we just went over to the beer and started, drowning our sorrows in the back of a Yeti ice house.
There was lots of people doing that, though.
Oh,
As soon as we walked in at 8:30, there were just...
Yeah, there's bloodies being poured.
Yes, lots of alcohol flowing.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, we visited over with our friends at Widowmaker Lures.
Yep.
Talked with Brian, the owner, and his wife, and a couple people that they had helping them there. And man, their jigs were flying off the shelves.
Yeah, we you almost started feeling like we were in the way there for a little bit talking with Brian, just because there was just a constant line of people coming through picking up jigs. Hey, what do you got here? What's going on?
Yep. And just wanted to learn more about it. And granted, I mean, we were there during the prime VIP time. I mean, that's the slowest the show's ever going to be.
Yep.
Is right away when we got there in the morning.
And we stopped by, picked up some tungsten Cadis canes. Is that how we pronounced it?
Cadis. Yep.
Cadis. We've been pronouncing it the wrong way this whole time, I guess.
Yep.
And they're, I mean, for the price point, you just can't beat those jigs.
Yes.
I mean, they really just kind of set the standard.
Yeah, and checking out and talking with Brian too, the paint jobs on their jigs are really cool.
Yeah, well, Brian paints them himself. He said, the other day he was up till 1 a.m. listening to the Short Rod Show.
Yep. So shout out to Brian. that was awesome catching up with you, getting us hooked up, checking out everything that you have new, and got Brett a wallet too now.
Yeah, I picked up the plastic wallet as well as a stocking hat, and chatting. They have a really cool history. Widowmaker Lures does.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, long story short, Brian went to try to just go buy a couple Cadis canes and ended up buying the company.
Yep, you just never know. And that's something, just going out talking to people.
Yep.
We were chatting on that after our last segment, just how much we learned just from talking with people around the industry. And you just never know.
Chatting with Brian, I'm really hoping, he got me kind of pumped up, and I'm hoping we can make it work where maybe we'll go tour where the magic happens for Widowmaker Lures over in North Liberty. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Widowmaker factory. That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet to get them on the line here and see what's going on. Yep. So where'd we stop by next, Ben?
Well, next we started making some rounds, of course, and getting pulled in all different directions by the salespeople.
We stopped by first, checking out the augers, all the new augers.
Well, and clam too.
Oh yeah, we stopped by Clam, check out the new the side step doors.
Yeah, so the 3/4 cut doors in the sides of their shelters. That's pretty slick.
Yeah,
the corner
I did
door.
like that. I was a little skeptical at first, and I was kind of chatting with the sales lady. Yep. It seems like on zipping this, that the first thing that flap's going to do is flap open, and then that's usually where my heater's sitting, and it's going to hit that heater and burn up. But really, as she mentioned, and when I kind of sat in it and kind of started visualizing how I'd fish out of it, I don't think you'd have that problem. And they've got plenty of Velcro on the outside that you can roll up that door. And man, those doors were big.
What did you think of the floors in there? What was your opinion on that? So they had like a vinyl kind of not snap-in floor, but like a floor that you can wrap around the tubes and kind of keep your feet off the ice.
I think it's cool for the first 2 or 3 times you use it, and then it just gets dirty.
Yeah.
And then frozen. And then it gets ice on it.
Yeah, I could see it freezing down and just ripping.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think durability, it seemed like it's a real durable product. But,
but if you don't keep your shelter that warm, maybe the edges are going to freeze down to the ice.
Yep.
Say you're, like what happens a lot, you're fishing during the day, you get some water in your shelter, and then wind kicks up and it's, sun goes down.
Yeah.
It can start freezing.
Well, what I can see more is you get water sitting on top of that floor, and then when you fold it up and you go home or do whatever, you leave that stuff out, freezes, then you have a hell of a time opening it back up. So, I think just some of that thing, application and useful wise, I think it'd be super sweet to have.
I think it is nice just having some extra insulation on the floor.
Yep.
So you're not constantly trying to heat that cold ice up.
Yep. Well,
The hair
and
coming off
sticking
there.
on the ice hut shelter deal. We stopped by. What was that Ice Runner? Is that what their name was?
Yeah, Ice
That dude?
Runner. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
They got.
That's
They
underrated.
definitely
stuff.
run a different type of sled. Check them out if you've never heard of them. Their sleds are low-profile sleds, and they do not have seats in them.
Yep.
So really what they're trying to be is at a low price point, ultra lightweight. That is their
Very
niche.
light. Yep.
So, I mean, with Ben's Otter, I commented to him even on their one-man sled, you could put that one-man sled in your Otter, haul that sucker out there, and I don't know, set up the Otter as your home base and then go take that out places, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and just the price points on that, on all their shelters were pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were
I mean, we're talking like a Otter Lodge style shelter for $430.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and they don't. I think that's purposeful.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, it's a nice frame to it. It's all full
Yep.
thermal.
Yep.
So that's cool. And then their one man was spectacular.
Well, and the cool thing I thought they had that I've never seen on other shelters, they had that spotlight or that skylight.
Yes.
They have a basically window material in the roof, so that during the day you got light coming in through the roof, which would be super handy to have.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a heck of a lot.
And
of
it's
sense.
got a window. You can cover it up if you want to, get it dark in there. That's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, for $200 for a one man,
Yeah. That's
and
a
they'll
deal.
throw in a free cover.
Free cover, and you could get at the show. You could get either a jacket or a float jacket or a float bib.
Yep.
I mean, at that point, if I was there looking for shelters, I would have picked that up
Yes.
right now.
If we were at all in the market, we would have been taking one home.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, they were upstairs a little bit.
Kind of tucked back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just depends. I know I'm sure on the primetime floor space costs
Yeah,
a
pay a
lot
lot
of
more.
money
Yeah.
to get a booth there. So
Yeah.
it was cool seeing that. The fire starters, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was all right, I guess.
They were like little plastic baggies. They just light on
light
fire.
on fire, and they last for. I mean, they burn hot.
Yep. Dunk them in
But-
water, light them back up again.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
that's just kind of a deal you see at a show, and people grab you, and you just
Yeah.
kind of watch.
We weren't going to get separated from our $40 to buy them. Though.
No, they're terribly expensive.
So, back downstairs, we also got to meet someone that we've been following on YouTube a lot, and that was Tom Boley.
Yeah,
Tom
that
Boley
dude's
Fishing.
legit.
He's a fishing guide from Wisconsin.
Yeah, fishes the Hayward area.
Yep, always on the flowage.
Yep, if you've never heard of him, check out Tom Bully on YouTube. Just search it.
Yep.
Dude's loaded with information. I mean, that dude, a lot of, YouTube stuff's just kind of entertainment, kind of cheesy stuff, where that dude is pumping out quality, information-intensive knowledge
Yes.
all the time.
Yep, and he's a real cool guy.
Yeah.
That was probably the best part, just getting to talk with him,
Yep.
seeing what he's all about, talking with him about the industry and his guide service and just what he's been up to. He was over at the Acme booth, the Beaver Dam booth,
Yep.
kind of combined,
We initially went over there to go check out the new rattle jigs.
which we did. We said
did.
we were going to check it out. We did.
That was the one thing that we said we were going to do, and we did.
Yep. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that ain't too bad. They did seem pretty sweet. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I was a little skeptical on whether they're a deal to actually catch fish or catch fishermen, and I'm sold that they're a deal to catch fish.
Oh yeah, and Tom was talking about how he's using them on crappies a lot.
Yeah, he's been pounding crappies.
So it's
Even
got-
with they're a little bigger jig. They don't. I think the smallest
They are.
is a 5mm.
but it says it's a 3.
Oh, does it say it's a 3?
It says it's a
Probably-
size 3, but that's not a size 3.
No, that's a pretty big jig.
It's pretty big, good size.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And then we, the augers, the whole auger discussion. That was
Yeah.
pretty
What
cool.
was that booth we stopped at?
I think it was like
It wasn't Reed's.
No, it was like Joe's Sporting Goods.
Some sort of
or-
sporting goods store.
It was like a Reed's or a Marine.
I mean,
General.
they basically had all your electric 40-volt augers all lined up in a row, and you can go kind of test them out and check them out.
Yeah,
And
that's
what I
cool.
liked about that, and that dude we were chatting with, granted he had an Eskimo shirt on, was he seemed pretty unbiased on what products he was pushing.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they had the Strike Master Lithium 40, they had the Ion X Gen 2, they had the Clam. Was that it?
Yep. You said Strike Master.
Yeah, Strike Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had all those major power augers.
And like the pistol bit and the light flight
Yep.
and the K drill were all there.
Yep.
Which we learned some things about those.
Yep.
That's cool.
I'd say the only thing that makes me nervous about those types of augers is that Ion is already doing it where their next generation, your batteries are not compatible with the previous generation.
Yep. He didn't really say why they did that. Was it just to
I think it's probably just size.
increase
a sizing
power?
deal, yeah.
Yep.
But that Gen 2, that Ion Gen 2 is by far lighter, and it seemed more responsive. I kind of liked holding it. I liked the ergonomics of that one better than the others.
Yeah, it's still weird to me to pull the trigger on it and not have it start immediately.
Yeah.
It's not
it
like
takes
a
its
drill.
Second hesitate.
Yeah. It kind of ramps up.
But that's the way they all are.
Yep, but it spins super slow.
For
how much it cuts,
slow
how
off
fast
RPMs.
it cuts. It's pretty cool. But yeah, you were looking at the Ion X.
Yeah, and then the
compared
Clam.
to the other one, the older Ion. Yeah, it's a lot lighter with that pistol bit kind of style.
Yeah, basically they just put a green pistol bit on it. Is
Yep.
what they did.
And those are all segmented. I guess I didn't realize that. So we're talking K drills and how guys line up their flighting.
Yep.
You can you can rotate your flighting around and
so
adjust
it's continual, so you can pump your ice shavings out of the hole rather than having to pick it up and going down, picking up and going down all the time.
Oh, we also saw the orange one, the
Razor, yeah.
Yep.
They were all right. They didn't wow me. They had a decent price point, but otherwise, I wasn't really sold.
Well, you learned something about them. They made the Strike Master.
Yeah, they used to make Strike Master augers prior to 2012 before they were owned by before the Strike Master was picked up by Rapala.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yep.
And you can see some features that reminded you of Strike Master stuff.
Yep.
In that.
And then we also got to talk to like a Russian importer company.
Yeah, what was that place called? Nils? No.
Nissus?
Nissus. Yeah, super cheap stuff. I feel like Putin's kind of like following me now that we even stopped to talk to that guy.
Brett checked out the website, and now pretty sure there's some Russian spyware on his phone.
Yeah, nobody call me.
But they had some cool stuff. It was like, outdoor gear.
Their boots were unbelievably light.
Yes, their boots are like made of nothing.
Yeah.
But they looked supposedly super warm.
Yeah. Yep. I would be interested in a set of those if I could figure out a price point.
I don't know how they'd hold up, too, if that rubber would hold.
Yeah, if they're cheap enough, I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
But that was all kind of a wholesale kind of deal, which is kind of strange.
Yep.
To be at an industry show like this where you have the average Joe consumer is 99% of the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To try and sell just wholesale stuff. Because we couldn't even buy anything there.
No, not at that booth.
No, which is kind of strange.
But then walking down, Ben kind of was fanboying a little bit with, what's his name? Will
Roseberg.
Will Roseberg, chatting with him. Dude's tall.
Yeah, he's on the In-Depth Outdoors team.
Yeah, real cool dude.
He's done a lot of fishing with them, with that whole crew, and started chatting with him a little bit, and just talking fishing, and we're talking about how great of a time we're having, and James Holst himself comes over and starts talking with us.
Yeah.
Somewhat about the Short Rod Show. So
I'd heard about it, seen it in their forums, and then that really perked my attention. I was like, oh, man.
Yep. So we had a really good time talking fishing with everybody.
Yeah. Super nice dudes.
Yep. James Holst is just about 1.5 feet taller than us, it seems like.
Yeah.
Larger than life.
Yeah, so when you're watching that and you don't think he has that big of a fish, if it looks like a big fish in his hand, that fish is a mondo.
Just giant.
Yeah. That dude's got monster hands.
Yep. That's really cool. So yeah, we had a great time at the show.
Didn't buy a whole lot at the show, but we kind of planned that.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it on this show a lot too, but we're pretty well set. Like, we don't really have anything that we need.
Yep.
We're basically, our bases are all covered when it comes to ice fishing gear.
Yep. So, came home with a couple jigs. Oh, we stopped by the Frostbite booth. I wanted to at least go check out their dinner bell and see what they had going on with that. And they're super nice guys. Picked up, they gave us each a dinner bell.
Yep.
Try out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty excited about that.
Yep.
And then we each had $50 gift cards to go spend at Clear Lake B&T. So we saved our money rather than spending it all at the show. We went down on our way back here and stopped by the bait shop. What'd you come away with, Ben?
I got a lot of just kind of random stuff that I've just been curious about. So, of course, the Acme rattle bait, the glass rattle.
Yep.
A few different sizes of that.
So we each came away with a couple of those.
Yep. And looking at my jig selection, realized I needed some more jig and bait storage.
Yep.
Especially like spoon storage. Just something to hold bigger profile baits. So picked up one of the Rapala utility boxes. Just kind of a smaller size. It might probably be their smallish size.
Yeah.
Pick that up.
Super heavy duty, that thing. I feel like you could run that over.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's got some segments in it that you can actually throw some spoons in there too, plus jigs in the foam and everything. So
that
was pretty cool. What else did I get?
Oh, we picked up those jointed
Oh, yeah.
pinhead, Clear Lake exclusive yellow bass
Jointed pinhead minnows.
Yeah, picked up a couple of
That was
those.
pretty cool.
Just something to try out. I
that-
don't really have any jointed spoons like that, so I thought that was kind of neat.
And that's a custom color that is only available at Clear Lake.
Yep, only available at CLBT.
Yep. Yep, that's pretty cool. What'd you pick up, Brett?
What else did? Oh, I got an extension for the clam auger, for the clam plate. So I picked up. Yeah, I didn't mention that before. Over the week, I picked up a clam plate at Shields, and then I picked up the extension. So now I've got the auger. I'm ready to rock and roll with the drill setup.
We're gonna have like identical setups. It's gonna be
So
cool.
here's what I could really get into, piecing gear together. So I mean, anybody can just go out and buy all that gear in one set and be ready to roll. What I get into is finding the cheapest possible way, or the least out of my pocket cost to do things. So as I mentioned before, I went on Craigslist, picked up the Strikemaster 7-inch for $40. Or not Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, $40 from a guy that lives downtown.
Screaming deal.
Des Moines. And then so what I ended up doing, pulling the trigger at Shields, was they have a price point for the clam plate at $89.99, but they will price match anyone.
Yep.
Well, Cabela's sells them for $79.99. And I happen to have, while I was digging up my Clear Lake Bait and Tackle gift card, I forgot I also have a $69 Shields gift card from way back in the day when I got married, and a couple of boys bought me a Lake Master chip that I cannot use. That was too advanced for my Hummingbird.
I may have been involved in that.
So I had to take that back, and then to get the regular Lake Master chip, it was just that much cheaper. I had $69 on a gift card. So I took that in. So I ended up, plus tax, getting the clam plate for $15.
Yep.
And then I had the $50 gift card to Clear Lake Bait and Tackle. Got the extension.
That
for
extension
free.
is key.
Yep. And we won those gift cards
Yeah.
at the tournament. So, I mean, those didn't cost us any money.
Yep.
So all the grand total, $55. And I got myself ready to roll.
Well, I mean, you still pay for parking. It's like $10 to park.
No, I mean,
$20
just
to
I meant
get
for the
in.
clam.
Oh,
my,
you're talking
my auger
you're
deal.
talking that. Okay, I'm talking the whole day.
Yeah, thanks for listening to what I had to say, man.
Not paying attention. the whole day, though, we made out really good.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I ended up with a couple free baits.
Yep.
Stopped by Clear Lake Bait and Tackle. I picked up 100 yards of the Clam Frost.
Oh,
mono,
you did get the clam.
And I picked up 100 yards of the Suffix Advance.
Cool.
Ice
You
magic.
put them back to back and see how they do.
Yeah, we'll put them on half rod. You put half rods with one, half rods with the other, and we'll see what happens.
Cool.
I'm pretty jazzed about that. And then while we were picking up, I also picked up a
Yeah, what's that called?
JNS Demon Tongue. If you're real interested in the frostbite jigs, frostbite dinner bells, I'm very confident that the Demon Tongues are the same thing at a
Looks very similar.
slightly more attractive price point. So
Yeah, and they had quite a few at Clear Lake Bait and Tackle.
Yeah.
And lots of different selections. So I think the Frostbite ones are sold out online, he said,
Yeah.
until Monday.
yeah, so if you're wanting to get some, look up Demon Tongues instead. See what you can figure out.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned piecing together your own setup, like augers too.
Yeah.
While we were at the show, we saw Joel Nelson post a Facebook post about piecing together the perfect auger.
Yeah.
So I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested to see what that.
Well, you think he was posting that in the John when we ran into him in the bathroom?
Another funny story. We're taking a little bathroom break, and Joel Nelson was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So Joel, if you're listening, we didn't want to bug you or anything, but that'd have been a little awkward bathroom conversation. But that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, like I said, you never know who you're going to run into.
Yeah, it was a great.
Yep.
I mean, even though we didn't buy a lot of stuff, it's
Yep.
still great to get out. Yeah, fanboy it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Go
I
see
mean,
some
like
of the celebrities.
Jason Mitchell, Dave Gans.
Dave Gans, yeah, dude, I am a fanboy of Dave Gans.
Yep. Didn't get to talk to him.
For as
but-
for as long as that dude's been around, and for what he's done for the industry, I mean, he's still just crushing it.
yeah. And he's still out there fishing too.
I can only hope to ever have his snowmobile game. I mean, have you seen
Oh,
some
yeah.
of those videos with his snowmobile all
That is
decked
cool.
out? Oh
Yeah.
man, he's
Yep.
got the shack and the otter, or his shack and his auger on the front of the snowmobile. There's all that gear on the back. Doesn't even get off the damn snowmobile.
Yep.
Just sits there, lowers his stuff down, lowers his
Pretty
thing,
smart
pulls
way
it.
to fish.
Doesn't matter how big that fish is. He's pulling that sucker all the way out of the hole, all the way up to him. He's not getting down to go get that thing.
No, just fantastic.
Dude's
Just
awesome.
Genius. Yeah, that's cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode talking about the ice show. If you're excited at all about getting up there to check it out, it's pretty much always the first weekend in December.
Yep.
It's at the St. Paul River Center. Really, for us being in Central Iowa, 3.5 hour trip to go up.
Yeah.
Next year, if the Short Rod Show takes off, we might spend the whole weekend up there. You never know.
See what we can do.
Yep. So thanks to everyone who's been listening in. We've gotten tons of good feedback. It just keeps rolling in every week.
Oh
Super
my gosh.
cool to interact
it's been
with
unbelievable.
you guys. Yep. We just have a good time catching up with everybody and kind of getting our name out there and just talking fishing. I think James Hull said it the best today, where he said this ice fishing community is just so incredibly intense and involved and wants to soak up every bit of ice fishing knowledge they can get their hands on. And that's really what Brett and I have that's been our philosophy. I mean, we'll learn from anybody.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So hopefully you guys are learning from us a little bit. And if you have something that you want to talk about, shoot it over to us. Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
On our website, go check it out.
Hopefully our next recording will be on the ice. It looks like it's supposed to start cooling down this week.
We are getting dang close.
Yep.
I can't wait. Get out there and actually test out our gear. Try some more mobile recording like this. Should work pretty well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the audio, but I think it'll work out well.
Yep. I'll work my magic in editing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today on this episode of
The Short Rod Show.